Good morning, everybody. That wasn't awkward at all. Today we're on part 3 of book 2, On the River Gran, among the Quadi. Here we go. What is divine is full of providence. Even chance is not divorced from nature, from the inweaving and enfolding of things governed by providence. Everything proceeds from it. And then there is necessity and the needs of the whole world, of which you are a part. Whatever the nature of the whole does, and whatever serves to maintain it, is good for every part of nature. The world is maintained by change, in the elements and in the things they compose. That should be enough for you. Treat it as an axiom. Discard your thirst for books, so that you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth, grateful to the gods, and from the bottom of your heart. And that's the end of that one. And I'm going to very quickly Google providence. I'm pretty sure it's kind of like, God's will or God's destiny, the plan that's been laid out for you. Let's just say providence. So providence can refer to divine guidance or care, often associated with a higher power, God's intervention in the universe. It can also mean foresight or prudence, particularly in planning for the future. So essentially, destiny, God's kind of grand design for your life and for the material world around us. Some people might view that as just fate. Their destiny. Without any godly or supernatural component to it. So, what is divine is full of providence. I think what he's getting at here is the really enjoyable parts of life. And those little moments that are almost perfect, and the things and the people that are just, you wouldn't change a thing. It's kind of the manifestation of fate's will or God's will, and that's why it's coming into your life. Even chance is not divorced from nature, from the inweaving and folding of things governed by providence. So even things that seem like they're happenstance or serendipitous, wow, I can't believe that happened. I ran into so and so, and it's led to the XYZ. And if that hadn't happened 10 years ago, where would I be? But those little moments. Then even nature itself is not immune from that, I suppose. Even things like bugs, just everything. The way the world is set up. Everything proceeds from it. Just the grandeur of the world it just is. And then there is necessity and the needs of the whole world, from which you are a part, or of which you are a part. What's he trying to say here? So, I think what he's talking about there is the divine and the really enjoyable parts of life are a part of the grand design, but also the simple mundane things like cleaning up your room or sweeping the floor or going to work. And I love my job, but some people don't, and so even the things that aren't necessarily enjoyable or divine and you really look forward to, they're all part of that as well. Whatever the nature of the whole does, and whatever serves to maintain it, is good for every part of nature. So he's just talking, I think, there about the little, just every little inner cog. My mind right now is just going to the whole food chain, and little amoebas feed, or maybe amoebas feed on bacteria. I think they're a bit bigger, and then a fungus eats them, and then a bug eats them, and a bird eats that, and just every little piece is all interlinked. Humans as well. And it's good whatever serves to maintain that balance is good, even if it might not be so good for an ant to be eaten by a bird, but it's certainly good for us to. I love eating chicken, so, and I like being me and alive, and I need to eat. So it's all interlinked, is what he's getting at here. The world is maintained by change in the elements and the things they compose. So yeah, certainly without change, you have the opposite, which is ossification, staleness, an inability to adapt. And back when he was writing this, there was no theory of evolution of the species. But without change, I think the world would be a very boring place, and that's not necessarily good or bad, is what he's getting at here. And everything, one big change in one area might be a benefit to another part of the world, or in your day-to-day life, or in a microcosm of your day-to-day life. And that should be enough for you. Treat it as an axiom, so kind of something to revolve around. This idea that change is omnipresent, and to accept it, not in a shoving down your throat type of way, but that it's a natural part of the world to change and to transmute matter from one form to another, and to participate in that is, you could say God's intention, nature's intention, the natural order of the way it works on this earth, in this reality that we live in. Discard your thirst for books so that you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth, grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. So I don't think he's getting at here saying, don't be a studious person, don't educate yourself. He's not getting at that here. What he's trying to say is you can't live a life in a library. You certainly can. I suppose, you can. But, then like this part here, you won't die in bitterness. It wouldn't be for me personally, and I think a lot of people, it wouldn't be very satisfying to just read about the whims and adventures and experiences of other people all the time. Certainly there's things that I'm happy to not experience, like bungee jumping or deep sea diving or whatnot. I'm happy to just watch a video about that, read, I know it exists. I don't care to participate in that. But things like counseling, for instance, one of the many things in my life I enjoy. A book can only give you so much. It can give me the interventions. You can say the words, empathy is so important for counseling. Active listening is so important. Go put the words to practice, see how it fits in your style, how your personality enmeshes and mixes with that to make your own form of empathy and genuineness. That's what he's getting at here. So to sum it all up, essentially he's saying that the world and the cogs and gears that keep the world turning are always in motion. And insofar as even should a meteor strike the earth and oblit it to dust, there's probably, that's part of some design, and there's always going to be change ever since the dawn of our universe and the origin of life on earth. There's been change, and there will continue to be change, and to not accept that and to go, I think he's kind of putting it into the personal, like to not experience some of those changes for yourself and to just read about them would be what would it be, like a great loss for a person to do that, to not embrace that change. And he's not saying here that it's going to be hard or easy. He's just saying that that's a part of the natural world. And in his mind, it's from the gods and from higher deities that kind of oversee everything. But in the more modern context, I mean, like, certainly God's still around for the majority of people. So for some people, using the word God might ring true, and that's more than okay. For other people, thinking in terms of like a destiny or natural order, like Mother Nature type of sense, fate, chance, all these different ways to say the same thing, but that sometimes when you go looking for it, there can seem like it is chance or just divine intervention, but there is normally some reason, and the human mind can normally has the capacity to rationalize that and understand why that change would be beneficial or good, and that's what he's getting at here, I think, overall. But again, these are just my thoughts and beliefs, just right off the top of my head. Maybe if I sat down with this for a few days or weeks, I'd come up with different answers, but that's not what this is about. This is about just shooting it off the top, and if you have any qualms or disagreements or agreements or any things you'd like to add, throw them down in the comments. Always up for a discussion. Thanks for listening.